Hello? I'm someone who has done something I can't even tell my family about. I'm quite shy by nature, so I thought I'd confess in the anonymity of the internet. Please hear me out. My husband used to run a solid business locally. However, due to a partner's betrayal, he lost his clients and was left with a mountain of debt. He decided to move to another region in search of work, leading us to live separately for a few years now. We had to use up our emergency funds and even cancel the kids' savings accounts. So I had to find work too. I initially worked at a restaurant. It was a barbecue place, and the owner seemed quite respectable. That was only on the surface, before I knew his true character. I heard his wife was frail and usually stayed home, though she would sometimes help out at the counter when it was busy, but I always thought she was mostly homebound. The head chef, a woman, seemed quite close to the owner. She appeared older than him, but was treated well by him after all. The restaurant couldn't run without her quick hands and tasty food. I found a job doing dishes there, and amidst the busy work, I also ended up chopping and washing vegetables. The owner seemed pleased with my quickness and efficiency. It was a well-established restaurant in the area, a place my family and I had visited several times. After a few months, I became friendly with the staff, and I found out that the head chef was single. One of the servers whispered that it was good for her to have a man in her life, even if she wasn't married. I wasn't interested in her personal life, including who she might be seeing, but when a server teased me to guess who it might be, and I showed no interest, she chided me for being so clueless. The only men in the restaurant were the owner and a college student part-timer. That meant the head chef was seeing the owner. Observing them, I indeed noticed they exchanged glances and occasional touches. The idea of the owner meeting another woman at work while his wife was sick at home didn't sit well with me, but I was there to earn money, so I just focused on my work. Business was going well, and the owner suggested we have a staff party. He said we all deserved it and proposed we grill some premium beef cuts. And indeed, everyone ended up quite drunk. I'm not great with alcohol, so I just had one drink to blend in with the atmosphere. All the employees had left, and just as I was about to grab my bag and head home, my boss called me over. He said he wanted to talk, claiming he understood my situation. His earnest look was hard to ignore, but I couldn't just give in. I told him I'd think about it and practically ran home, knowing I was married and still making moves. I realized I couldn't work under him, but I desperately needed the money. The next day, I told him I was quitting. He seemed to understand and paid me my salary. When he asked if I had another job lined up, I said I'd figure it out. The guilt of leaving my husband to struggle alone back home was overwhelming, and I couldn't do anything for days. Then, a neighbor mentioned her internet shop was hiring. They sold pet snacks and clothes. And the owner, much younger than expected, was really kind. Moving from dishwashing to packing orders at the office turned out to be quite fun. I never made a mistake, and the boss even gave me a bonus for my meticulous work. However, as they say, news travels fast, and soon everyone at the office knew about my family's financial troubles. The boss, out of pity, started giving me overtime. He said it was to provide me with extra income, but it turned out to be for photographing and updating new products online, often requiring late hours. Other part-timers left by 6 p.m. One evening, buried in work, the boss brought in sushi, knowing I loved it, and suggested we eat together. He even offered beer, pouring it warmly. He hadn't told anyone, but he revealed to me that he had been widowed for 3 years, living with just his dogs and cats. He asked why he was telling me this, and said it was because I was different from the other part-timers. I was quiet and diligent. That night, I forgot I was a married woman and found myself close to him on the narrow office couch. He was in good health. When I finally came to, it was past midnight. I had missed several calls from my daughter and rushed home, feeling embarrassed. Continuing from the previous narrative, the person reflects on a particularly eventful night. They woke up past midnight to find several missed calls from their daughter on their phone, which left them feeling embarrassed as they rushed home. Unable to explain their profuse sweating to their curious daughter, they kept their enjoyment of the evening to themselves, smiling secretly. Since that night, they have been seeing the restaurant owner regularly. Although they occasionally receive calls from their husband, causing their voice to tremble likely due to guilt, they continue their secret meetings. The restaurant owner, citing a busy schedule, often asks them to work late, which leaves them feeling physically exhausted yet emotionally uplifted. Despite feeling guilty towards their husband, they decide to proceed with caution in their affair.